So the last question, right? How successful can the USMNT be here? Where is their ceiling right now? What do you think?
I love the idea of bringing in a European coach. I had been in favor of this even when Greg was still in charge. We talked about this before. I just think it's a fresh tactical look at this team. I think the way that we were playing under Greg was just not the right way to do it with the personnel that we have. And I think Pochettino could shift us in a direction that works better with what we have. And to me, that sees them take a step forward. I don't see them in a position where they're all of a sudden like challenging top 10 in the FIFA rankings consistently, like pushing for number one, like as good as like prime Brazil, Argentina, Italy, and all that stuff. But I like the fact that I feel like we would have chances against these bigger teams. And that's something I haven't felt for this team in a long time, where we could now go into a World Cup, get out of our group, and actually have a chance to compete and win a couple of games and get deeper into these tournaments. Because as of right now, it was like, all right, we get out of the group stage. That's what we expected from this team. And then it's like, all right, we're immediately facing a team that's actually competitive and isn't just like a team out of El Salvador. And all of a sudden we don't know what we're doing and we look like a mess and we get out coached and we get bounced. So I don't necessarily think that Poch coming in is all of a sudden gonna just flip the switch and we're gonna be the best team in the world, but I think it gives us more opportunity to win a couple of those big games and maybe see us in like a quarterfinal, semifinal in the World Cup. I think that would be a good spot for us because, like you said, there's just not a lot of time right now to all of a sudden implement and make all these changes happen right before 2026 World Cup.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat, right? Managers can make a difference in a team, but I think the sole impact of the manager on this group specifically is not something that's going to jump us to a top five team in the world, right? We're not winning the World Cup this year or in 2026. Like, not Poch doesn't make us a World Cup contender, right? But he might get us to a point where we can successfully be the best team in our region, right? And really, what I want to see at the end of the Poch time, which I think is after the 26 World Cup, I don't think they bring him back to go for 2030. They should, but I think that at the end of his time, if you are talking about the best teams in the Americas, North and South and Central and what have you, and it is Brazil, Argentina, Uruguay, Colombia, and the US as the top five in the Americas, then he's done a good job, right? Because I don't think right now you can look back and say, yeah, the US is a top five team in the Americas right now. We're just not, right? And it sucks to say, but we're not. But if he can take us to that level and maybe, pull out a round of 16 win in the World Cup, get us to the round of eight, I think that's a successful run at this moment. And there's still a whole year for individual improvement at club level and players to improve and fill in the gap and what have you. But we're not one manager away from being a World Cup finalist, right? We're like six players away from being a silver generation, not a golden generation, a silver generation. Like we aren't as good as we think we are yet. We can get there, but we're not there yet. And that's my thoughts on the Poch drama.
Yeah, I don't think I have anything else to add.
Yeah, like I said, I don't. I think it's going to be covered a lot, and I think it's going to be a hot topic. But at the end of the day, right? The only thing you do is go out there and do your job, right? If Poch comes in and says we're going to play out of the back, and you can't do it, you shouldn't be brought in. Now, if everybody in our entire pool can't play out of the back, and Poch doesn't change his system to fix that, that's a problem. But I am, it'll be interesting to watch for sure. There's not a lot of games coming up. Gold Cup's going to be a big one. Yeah, very excited to see what happens. Hopefully, he gets us to a good point where whoever takes over after him is starting off not from the bottom like he is right now.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that would be useful, at least for him to just get us in a better spot. Like, even if he just comes in and like gets more eyes on the game, like I think that would be helpful at the minimum, you know, get the next generation a little bit more inspired because I feel like they've got to be feeling a bit uninspired watching this current USMNT team.
Yeah, it's gonna be. He's got a lot of work to do. Let's put it that way. He's not coming into a Brazil and trying to take him from semifinalist to finalist, right? Um,
Yeah, he's not walking into a PSG.
yeah, exactly. So we'll see how it goes. And again, you saw what happened with PSG. He came in a team that had won seven in a row, got better with the best players in the world, and then lost.
Well, I
So
mean, he did come in halfway during that season.
yeah, don't give him excuses. We are the Wilfred Nancy hype train, and this is derailing our hype. So
He's just Poch is just setting up the team a little bit better, so when Nancy takes over, he carries us to a World Cup victory. Simple.
sure hope so.